This is Morning Juice. Sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Attack and dominate on this Monday. Tito, Jeff Thitoff here with you to my left. Jay-Z. The other side of the glass there, the fake glass. Big Mo. How you guys doing today? Staying warm?
Oh, no. It's freezing outside, boy.
Who is doing that?
I'll tell you what. Took the car a little bit extra time to warm up this morning on the way in, but I think we got some 50-degree weather coming towards the middle of the week, don't we? Something a little warmer anyways.
A little warmer, yes. A lot of schools are off today. I haven't heard anything from Columbus City schools yet, or like Upper Arlington schools are still on, but Columbus Catholic schools are out. I'm not sure who else is out, but a lot of places are out now, and I haven't seen anything else on. I'm surprised that, I came in, my car said 3 degrees. It was outside. I thought they might keep kids home for that, but.
That's a degree warmer than it was when I drove in.
There we go. See? The
warming up. Yeah, it's coming.
Big show lineup for you today. We're going to talk to Bill Bender. We got a lot to talk about with the Wolverine stuff still going on up there in Michigan. A lot of NFL stuff to get into. I want to start with this, though, because I'm not sure how concerned I should be. So my cousin who said that you went from a Timberlake look.
Timberlake to the town?
Wow. Now, you would think that'd be like the end of the discussion.
Oh, boy.
I get a text from him last night, out of the blue, yesterday afternoon. The more I study the old Jay-Z look, it's not so much a Timberlake look, but similar to Joe Burrow with this second opinion analysis. It concerns me my cousin spending so much time analyzing Jay-Z's looks.
That should concern you very much. And is he married?
No.
I think I'm concerned.
Yeah.
No, I'm just, I don't know.
I'm going to be checking the parking lot when I leave here.
I don't know if like, even your wife ever broke down your looks quite like my cousin's doing, you know? So, I don't know. It's just, I don't know, something to, I got the text random in the afternoon yesterday. I was like, hey, cuz. Anyway, what we got today? Let's see. The Browns lost the Bears yesterday, 31-3. Bengals shut out by the Ravens, 24-0. For those who keep the score at home, that means 55-3. Ohio teams got beat in the NFL. Steelers play Miami tonight. OSU women knocked off Toledo, 85-60. The number 21 ranked OSU women. CBJ hosts the Ducks on Tuesday. NCAA men got a big win over the weekend on Saturday, beating West Virginia 89-88 in double overtime. And a game where they were down, I think, by 14 in the second half, maybe 16 at one point. They were down double digits quite a while there. They came back and won that one. Bruce Thornton had 2 points in the first half and then finished with 21. So he caught fire in the second half and overtime. But that's a game that's an important win for Ohio State.
That was a big shot by Bruce at the end of that game,
yes,
too.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, just powering through, getting that ball up.
They just worry me that they have these lapses, it seems, in the second half where it just everything stops.
Yes. And which is what I was concerned about on Saturday night, too, with that going. But, like, it seems like these are the games that the last couple of years they've found a way to lose. Mm-hmm. And so to get a win like that over a decent team, West Virginia team, I think that's that was a big win for this program. So, anyway, we're going to try something new today. Well, it's an old thing, but with a new person. How about that? We're going to do Today in History. Big Mo's going to lead the way on this one. Here we go.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby
Big Mo.
Carpenter.
I think I would be like the adjunct professor.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'll be. Today is December 15th. It is the 349th day of the year. 16 days remain until the end of the year. On this day in 1925, the first hockey game at Madison Square Garden, with the Montreal Canadiens defeating the New York Americans 3-1.
Any fights?
Well, that's what I was looking for, actually, and I didn't see anything. You have to imagine there probably were a few, because back then it had to be. I mean, it's pretty rough now, but it had to be a much rougher game then. And then no masks, no
helmets.
The goalies didn't.
The
goalies didn't even have masks.
Yeah,
those guys were probably really good looking after those games. In 1933, baseball owners agreed to ban Sunday doubleheaders until after June 15th. Now, I can't figure out, and I couldn't find where the reasoning was for that. But what do you guys? It was 1933.
Okay, so it was probably because it was. So it was before night baseball was going on, right? And so Yeah, I don't know if it had to do with the daylight or not, and why they would do it then, because they wait until after. They can't have after June 15th, right? That's when they can start them. Yeah. It might have a daylight thing.
Daylight savings time would have been in like March or April.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I'm saying, but you get more daytime there, and kids are out of school, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting, especially since there weren't any night games. They were doing double headers before that, apparently. So I thought that was really interesting. In 1938, groundbreaking begins for the Jefferson Memorial in Washington, D.C. Either of you been to the Jefferson Memorial?
I have not been to Jefferson Memorial.
I probably have. I've been, we did those tours back in 8th grade or whatever it was. I'm sure I stopped by.
Well, I have been to D.C. twice and have never gone to the Jefferson Memorial. It's on like the other side of the
so maybe it's something
the river
it's
or
off
something.
the beaten path, so maybe you don't get to it as much as so maybe I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I still want to do that before I die. Go over there, like just Smithsonian, all that stuff, and just really spend time doing all of it.
It is amazing. We did a tour of the eastern seaboard, my wife and I, like 12 cities in 9 days.
Ooh.
We drove it in D.C. The last 3 days were in D.C., and it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great trip to go on. In 1939, Gone with the Wind, which was starring Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh, premieres in Atlanta. They did get the Best Picture for that film in 1940.
Red, you go. Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
He was a boss.
Yes, he was.
Clark Gable, Ohio's own Clark Gable.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I will admit, and I've seen a lot of movies, I've never watched Gone with the Wind.
I've never watched it either.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's one of those I've thought about it, but man, I've heard it's really long and
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was like, is it possible? Like almost 3 hours?
almost 3 hours, I believe. Yeah,
Look that
that's
up. Yeah.
It's a doozy for back then too.
you got to have some action in it.
Let's see.
Maybe some, some
Oh wow.
I need
decent-
some stuff
indecent
blowing up or
situations.
something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
According to the Wikipedia machine here, I think it said 3 hours and it's 221 minutes, or it says 234 to 238. So what's that? It's almost 4 hours, right?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not even take that long to read the book.
That's back when they had the intermissions, right?
Yeah.
In movie theaters, they would do that. They have like a couple hours, like have the intermission, everyone goes out and smokes and comes back in.
That's crazy. In 1944, American band leader Glenn Miller was lost over the English Channel. I don't think they ever recovered him either.
I don't think they did either, no.
Yeah.
No.
That was a big loss back then. In 1955, Folsom Prison Blues was a single released by Johnny Cash.
I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on.
That was a karaoke winning song for me at one of the fan events they did. Bobby did a song, I did a song. Tim Hall did one. I think I won that one. Tim
So
stood
you went
up
with
there.
Folsom Prison.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tim stood up there and did it might have been a Dave Matthews Band song, but Tim insisted on having a guitar, even though he wasn't playing it.
Just
Just around his like he was actually pretending to strum.
He
the
thought
guitar.
that would help him win.
I don't know if he did or just was a quirky thing Tim does, but yeah, it didn't.
So you won. What'd you win for that?
I think I got a pat on the back.
Hey, all right.
Afterwards, I remember though, I think Scotty Vegas shot a T-shirt gun into my stomach from close range.
Oh,
That
so
was fun.
you were the winner.
Yeah, I was the winner there. Yeah,
Is that your go-to karaoke song? Or you just picked it that night?
that one I just picked. That I had the list of songs that I could choose from. I chose that one. When I've sung Elvis a couple of times at the Sons of Gladys concert they do every couple of years. Elvis Love Me's one I do, and then Folsom Prison Blues Elvin. Yeah.
I'm putting it out there right now that I would probably win if I was in a karaoke competition. Just saying.
Which one would you win? What song?
Calling his shot.
What's your song?
Oh, I mean, it doesn't
You
matter.
can do it. A little bit of
My
anything.
go-to that I've sang
Big Mo.
a few times is "Feel Like Making Love,"
Okay, yeah.
which you don't really have to sing.
No.
You just kind of shout it.
We did another one at the Fan. I did Friends in Low Places.
Ooh. Okay.
And Paul Keels did a song that night, too. And I can't
Oh,
remember
you
what Keels
can't.
did.
Well, then I would lose.
Yeah, that one you might lose on that. Piano Man. I knocked Piano Man out of the park one time at a karaoke thing.
Oh, nice. That's not an easy one.
No.
No.
In 1961, a court in Israel sentences Nazi Party official Adolf Eichmann to death for war crimes for his participation in organizing the Holocaust. Figured I'd do that in memory of your former producer.
Oh, Shark? Yeah. Yeah, that's
That's
Bobby
his-
Bobby would normally say that. Yeah, it's one of Shark's
Exactly.
favorite people. He would say whatever it is.
In 1969, John Lennon and Yoko Ono's Plastic Ono Band play their only European gig, appearing in UNICEF charity concert at London's Lyceum Ballroom. The band is augmented by Bonnie and Delaney Bramlett, guitarist George Harrison, and Eric Clapton, and keyboardist Billy Preston.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
Think of that lineup. Man,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Serious.
that's unreal.
Yeah, that's big time.
1979, Chris Haney and Scott Abbott developed the board game Trivial Pursuit. One of my favorite games to play because I'm just a meaningless, mindless trivia person. And you end up playing that game, and if you do well, people just hate you.
Oh, yeah. 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 And you
So-
can't do the team thing.
No,
If you teams,
no.
because if somebody gets it wrong, then you're like, God, what a,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you not know that?
seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1980, New York Yankee Dave Winfield becomes the highest paid player. 10 years, $15 million. Yep. I knew you'd know that shit.
Yeah.
Just, there's no doubt. 1982, Bill Parcells becomes the 12th head coach of the New York Giants. In 1995, Heat, directed by Michael Mann and starring Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and Val Kilmer, is released in the U.S.
Guy told me one time, don't let yourself get attached to anything you are not willing to walk out on in 30 seconds flat if you feel the heat around the corner. Now, if you're around me and you got to move when I move, how do you expect to keep a marriage?
Oh, that's an interesting point.
I've seen that clip.
You've seen that clip?
I have not seen the movie, but it's on my list of things that I really want to see soon.
It's a good movie. Have you seen it,
It's
Jay-Z?
been years. If I have, I would need a refresher.
When it first came out, everybody was just beside themselves because Pacino and De Niro were in it together. Technically, they were in The Godfather Part 2 together, but they
Right.
never had scenes together. So this was like the first time that they got to perform on screen together. So that was a big deal. In 2004, $1 Million Baby, directed by Clint Eastwood and starring Hilary Swank and Morgan Freeman, was released. This won the Best Picture in 2005.
Who's your new girl? What? She keeps sitting there like that, you're gonna break her wrists.
Wasting your time. I told you I don't train girls.
Thought you might change your mind.
There's dozens of trainers who train girls. You won't have any trouble finding one.
Don't hardly need a dozen, boss. You'll be fine.
I've never seen it.
Me either. I've seen it.
No.
Yeah. Birthdays today in 1922. Alan Freed, American disc jockey and concert promoter. We know what he is famous for.
Freed?
Alan Freed.
I don't. I've heard the name, but I can't remember what he's famous for. What's he famous for?
He coined the phrase rock and roll.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So he was the one that actually created that
He was the
phrase for
one.
the music.
Okay.
He was also in a payola scandal, which is a whole radio thing. He got paid to play certain records.
Right, yeah.
Not allowed to do that. In 1933, Tim Conway was born in Willoughby, Ohio.
See, this elephant had this little
great scene. I love
dwarf
that
trainer, and just used to put a little ballerina skirt on that elephant. I go around the circle, and like that. That's why I thought it was so laughable at the time. There's a rumor going around the circus that that dwarf and the elephant were lovers. The elephant squashed her, so they had to shoot the elephant.
That whole scene is actually, it's on a blooper reel from the Carol Burnett show, but it ends. It was just too long of a scene, but basically, Vicki Lawrence just calls him out on the show for that whole, and he made that whole scene up.
The Dick Van Dyke's on the floor on his back laughing, and
Tim Conway, one of my favorites of all time.
I
in
saw
comedy.
him and Harvey Korman in Vegas together once at a show.
Really?
That's pretty good, yeah.
Oh, I imagine. Yeah. In 1949, Don Johnson, Sonny Crockett, and Nash Bridges, and also he sang the song Heartbeat, was born today in Flat Creek, Missouri. And in 1972, Rodney Harrison, who is a Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. He was a Pro Bowler, and also, I believe he made the Hall of Fame.
I think he did. He carries the Hall of Fame, yeah.
He was born in Markham, Illinois. Deaths today, Walt Disney died today in 1966. So that's a huge loss. And Bob Feller, who many, especially in Ohio, consider maybe the greatest pitcher ever, passed away today in 2010. He was an 8-time All-Star. He got the AL Triple Crown for pitching, which is what, Tito?
The Cy Young Award? What'd you say?
Well, no. What is the AL Triple Crown? Or what's the Triple Crown
for pitching? I'm sorry. I was looking up Rodney Harrison. Yeah, it's leading the league in wins, ERA, and strikeouts.
That's right.
Yeah.
He did that in 1940. He had 3 no-hitters, played his whole career with the Cleveland Indians. In observances today. Today is Bill of Rights Day, which commemorates the adoption of the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. International Tea Day, which I guess would make it International Tea Bag Day, too. World Turkic Language Family Day. Say that 10 times fast.
Okay.
And Zamenhof Day, which celebrates L.L. Zamenhof, the creator of Esperanto. It's also National Cupcake Day, so everybody go out and celebrate and get the diabetes.
Yep.
Cat Herders Day. Now, this honors those managing chaotic and impossible tasks.
Okay.
Because when people say it was like herding
cats.
Herding cats.
Yeah.
And then National Wear Your Pearls Day.
I wish I knew that.
Just going to leave that
There
one alone.
you go.
Let it go.
That is your date in history, observances, births, deaths for December 15th, 2015.
Well done there, Big Mo. Coming up next, Bill Bennett Sporty is going to join us. This is Morning Juice.
Put a new sound on an old song this season at Lion's Den, the official store of pleasure, passion, and romance.
We are the keepers of the wild, America's original and most invested conservationists. For more than 80 years, we've been committed to conserving wildlife and the natural landscapes that define our nation. From rugged alpine ridgelines to peaceful tall grass prairies, we've supported the conservation of more than 36 million acres of American wildlands. Our funding has led to cleaner water, fresher air, and improved wildlife habitat. From abundant fish and waterfowl populations to robust deer and elk herds, nothing is more important than maintaining wild spaces for adventurers to explore and wildlife to thrive. We are America's hunters and target shooters, stewards of the American outdoors.
America's hunters and target shooters, along with firearm, ammunition, and archery manufacturers, have invested more than $46 billion to help state fish and wildlife agencies manage and protect wildlife and wildlands across America. For more information, visit OutdoorStewards.org.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
I thought mixing bleach with my floor cleaner would take the stain out.
When my youngest ate the dog's medicine, that was a new one.
I was trying to protect my garden, but I accidentally sprayed myself with pesticide.
So I called 1-800-222-1222, the poison helpline.
A poison expert helped me figure out what to do next.
I was connected to someone who spoke Spanish.
They answered my questions.
It was free.
It was confidential.
It was real help in real time.
Keep the poison experts in your pocket. 1-800-222-1222.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Morning Juice, Tito, Jay-Z, Big Mo. And now the show gets even smarter. Bill Bennett of Sporty News joins us now. Bill, good morning, my friend. Something I saw on social media last week was you with the Brian Bosworth. And curious what that experience was like for you. I know I'm sure I imagine maybe you've met him before. I'm not sure. And I was going to ask you, do you ever get starstruck?
Rarely. I mean, you and I have been in this business long enough. You see guys and you're like, that's pretty cool. You know,
right.
Years ago, the first time I saw Michael Jordan, it was, you know, I was like, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like in the press conference. But it was cool seeing Bosworth. I was at the Nagurski Trophy presentation last week. I got to be the last guy. And, you know, if you're the last guy that presents the award, the key is not to mess up the guy's name and not to mess up in general, so nobody remembers that you were even up there. But we got that accomplished. Jacob Rodriguez won the award. Caleb Downs was there. Leonard Moore, Cassius Howe. It was a great experience, Tito, and getting to see the Boz was very, very cool. And as he said, the kids know him as the sheriff of Vansville now. We obviously know him as the awesome linebacker from the 80s.
Yeah, no doubt. It's funny. I saw it and I was like, yeah, that's the way I always remember him too. I remember seeing the 30 for 32 that they did on him with ESPN, which is pretty cool. So I'm curious your thoughts on what's next for Michigan.
I mean, that's a loaded question. I think it starts with this probe of the athletic department in general. How can you have two investigations from the NCAA? I know they didn't really get the hammer dropped on them for the sign stealing scandal. I think this latest thing with Sharon Moore, as tragic as it is probably the most embarrassing for the athletic department in general, especially if that inappropriate relationship was known about, you know, and I think if they find that, it is embarrassing. So where do they go from a coach standpoint? That's the big question now. I think if Kalen DeBoer doesn't go, and he released a statement yesterday, it would be hard to retract that they're going to have to take a hard run at a guy like Kenny Dillingham or Jed Fish or anybody that breaks them away from the Harbaugh era at this point.
So if the Michigan job had been open a month ago, which candidates that took new jobs already do you think would have been potential hires and maybe likely hires for Michigan?
I think Matt Campbell would have been the best hire for Michigan, much like he's a pretty good hire for Penn State, even though they had a 7 weeks and change search for their replacement for James Franklin. He turns out to be a pretty good candidate. Campbell had a 35-15 record at Toledo. I know he had been rumored to be a Michigan candidate in the past when Harbaugh left and even before Harbaugh. So I think he's a guy that would have been knocked it out of the park. So again, this late in the cycle and having that happen, it could – I have a feeling it's going to be maybe an off-the-wall name with no speculation. The guy I said all along, and I don't know if he would have interest in this, if you can't get a Power 4 coach or you can't get one of those glamorous NFL candidates that everybody likes to talk about, then somebody like Dan Mullen might end up taking that job.
I threw out Brian Kelly's name yesterday as somebody who, coached in Michigan, coached in the state of Michigan and had success up there, right? So, I mean, I think that's and I wonder if they could probably get him on the cheap because the fact that you got all the money being paid to him by LSU.
I don't hate it because whether you like or love or hate, and I feel like most people like to make fun of Brian Kelly on social media, he has shown he can run two major programs in competent fashion. He won 10 or more games 7 straight years between Notre Dame and LSU, and we can debate the manner in which he did that or the strength of schedule or the big games or how it ended at LSU. But like you said, he coached at Grand Valley State. If he had one more job in him, you get him for 5 or 6 years and he does okay, that would be, to me, that's the biggest name left on the board if it's not going to be Kalen DeBoer, which it looks like it's not going to be.
I was just going to ask, on the Michigan front, losing a coach, is there any rumors on who they may be losing as far as players are concerned? Is there a coach, maybe the Dillingham, that can save some of those guys from leaving in your eyes? It's so late in the process, it's going to be hard to find and make that big splash as far as a coach, but is there anybody out there that maybe saves some of these guys from leaving in the portal?
Well, I think that's secondary to the stuff we talked about at the top. When you have a week where you have your head coach get arraigned and the picture that was spreading around on social media, and when that's going around, I think your worries as a program extend beyond whether or not you're going to lose a couple 5-star guys, and you need to get the right coach in there so that those guys want to stay. But to get what you're driving at, yeah, if Bryce Underwood were to look somewhere else and he had a monster NIL contract, a couple of 5-star the running back Savion that they just brought in, that's another guy that, maybe he flips, but that happened to Nick Saban. I mean, that worked out for Ohio State. Obviously they got a couple nice players out of that when Nick Saban retired at Alabama, but I think you just need to find the right coach when that happens.
Hey, Bill, would you think that there's any chance that Willingham would maybe consider going to Michigan, or do you think that because I know he said he's stepping away, but he doesn't plan on giving up coaching. Do you think there's any chance that Michigan might be interested in him, or he would be interested in that?
In Kenny Dillingham?
Or no, Willingham.
Utah's coach.
Utah's coach.
Oh, yeah, Kyle Whittingham. Yeah. So he would be a good fit too if he wants to come back. I think he said he's stepping away kind of, but he would pursue other coaching opportunities. He's the type of guy that could do well at a place like Michigan. And I've always liked Utah's style, but he had been in one place for a very long time. I believe, am I wrong in thinking like he took over after Urban left?
Yes. Yeah, I believe
that's
you're
how
correct.
long he's been there.
Yeah.
So, really steady coach. Offensive and defensive lines are always solid. Would fit Michigan. That's a good one. That's a really good call because he's the guy that I haven't really thought about because it happened so fast with him leaving over the weekend and, with Scally taking over at Utah.
Surprised all by the Heisman results?
I'm surprised at the gap.
Yeah.
I thought it might be a little bit closer between Mendoza and Pavia. Where Julian Say and Jeremiah Love fell in. I thought Jacob Rodriguez maybe should have been the 5th finalist. You can get a defensive guy out there every once in a while. It's one more segment. What's the big deal? But huge gap with Mendoza and Pavia that as these All-American teams come out this week, it'll be interesting to see how those two stack up if it's the same in those.
Yeah, I'm curious about that, too. I want to see how it plays out there. And then Pavia came out and said something about the voters.
Forget the voters.
Yeah, forget the voters. That's a good way to clean that up, though. But I know he apologized after that, but that's such a bad look.
Not smart. I mean, kids are kids. I understand that. And I am a voter, so I kind of giggled. I'll be honest. I'm like, oh, I guess he's mad at me for not voting for him first. I had him second on my ballot, right behind Mendoza, and he is definitely a lightning rod because of incidents like that. He'd had one at the previous school, but there's no question if we can find it on the field, he's a huge reason why Vanderbilt was 10-2. I mean, he led the nation, or he led all Power 4 quarterbacks in total offense, and Mendoza's it's hard not to enjoy what he had to say on the podium, the emotion, how much that really means to him. I saw the clip of his teammates mobbing him. That's always a good sign that they like the kid.
I personally will not watch many of the bowl games. I used to watch a lot more when I was younger. A lot of them don't interest me like they used to. Do you find yourself feeling obligated to watch a lot of bowl games because of your what you do, or is it because the bowl games don't mean as much anymore? Do you not have to watch all of them?
I wish the number was around 25. I was explaining this to Bobby last week that, when I was in college at Ohio University, it was a big deal when the MAC got a second bowl bid.
Right.
And we thought that was really cool at the time because we're like, all right, that's more than just one bowl bid. It was the Motor City Bowl at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a second one. And now the MAC has 5 or 6, which is good for the conference in some ways, but also it does water down the bowls a little bit. I wish, Tito, like when we were growing up, that number was around 20 to 25 bowl games because then they would be more compelling.
Right.
But even so, I mean, even now, if you watch them, you do. If you don't, you don't. Because so much of the focus is on the playoff that it definitely does take away the focus from the bowl games.
Yeah, at big time it does. And I was talking about this yesterday with Dave Biddle, though. Like it's, I don't like having 2 Group of 5 schools in the playoff when Notre Dame and Texas are on the outside looking in. But I do wish they did have a Group of 5 tournament. You know what I mean? Where maybe you get a couple of MAC schools in that. And I think that could be really good with some games on campus sites and stuff like that, the first couple of rounds and things like that. I think that would take off.
Oh, if you did like an 8-teamer even.
Yeah.
It would be awesome. And you would get I would watch it. And I think if you really love football, you would watch it. Would it get as many views as, the big playoff? And like you said, I mean, I think that's one of the things we're going to see over and over and over again next weekend is if James Madison and Tulane get blown out, there is going to be a lot of that. Why are they here? Why aren't we watching Notre Dame? Why aren't we watching Texas? Whereas, like, if Ohio University was playing UNLV in a FBS Division II championship, so to speak, I would watch it. I would love it. I think it'd be awesome to have a trophy like that.
How do I have that in all these damn bowl games? I think that'd be a lot more intriguing. For something like that going on because, some of these bowl games just don't do it for me right now. But looking at Ohio State's coaching staff, do you think most of the staff outside of Heartline, obviously, will be back next year?
Yeah, I do. And it's also a compliment when the guys move on. I mean, Nick Saban went through this every year where he would have both coordinators would leave and everybody at Alabama would freak out, but they're going to other jobs. I mean, Look at his coaching tree. When Ryan Day has a coaching tree of guys taking jobs, one of the things that's worked out is they've had a lot of continuity. But when some of these guys start leaving and taking jobs like Brian Hartline, that's the ultimate compliment to a program. So I'm not as worried about that as others might be. But, when you have coordinators coming in and out, sometimes you hit on one, sometimes you miss. But there's no doubt he hit on a defensive coordinator this year.
No doubt, yeah. And I got to believe, I'm surprised his name's not getting thrown around as somebody who could be a candidate for some of these coaching jobs. And maybe it's because he doesn't want it to be. But, if I'm a school looking for a head coach, though, I'm at least kicking the tires on Matt Patricia.
Yeah, I saw one of those Michigan lists. I think it was one that you swipe your finger on Instagram or something. And he was one of the guys in the Michigan hat and the Michigan jacket. And and it wasn't until that moment that I actually thought, oh, yeah, I mean, he could be a head coaching candidate, maybe not at Michigan, but anywhere. Why wouldn't you make that call given the work that he's done with that Ohio State defense all season?
Is Ryan on the clock at all as far as filling that offensive coordinator position just with all the other head coaching, jobs going on, people filling their staffs? Do we need to make anything happen here during this playoff run? Or, is he going to wait until the offseason and kind of take his time like we kind of saw him do last year with the DC?
I mean, you could line them up, but I would imagine that the focus and with the offensive staff they have now, the focus right now is the winner of that first-round game between Texas A&M and Miami. And that's one thing you got to do a double take at the bracket each week. I didn't even dawn on me that, they might actually play Miami in the quarterfinal, and that was a matchup I wanted to see back in October anyway. So I think you've got to line up. You can line up a candidate, no question, but when they hired Chip Kelly, remember, I believe they had Bill O'Brien hired.
That's right, yeah.
And this was way late. And O'Brien ends up leaving, and then Chip Kelly leaves UCLA. So Ohio State's, and I'm not worried about them getting offensive coordinator candidates. There are plenty of people that would line up to call plays and design some things to throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith.
Would you put Chip Kelly in that as a possibility, or do you think that it's either he's, I don't know, doesn't want to do a job or doesn't want to take a job right now that Ryan Day wants someone fresh?
I mean, maybe. And they obviously have a relationship, and he did a nice job last year. Not a nice job. They won a national championship. So you're just trying to get Chip Kelly and Brian Kelly on the same field when Michigan and Ohio State play.
That's right. That's what I'm trying to do.
So,
right. Yeah.
We got to write all
Kelly
these
out there, honorary captain.
narratives.
Yeah.
And that's how that's going to go. But I do think he would be a candidate. I mean, obviously they have a relationship. He did very well in that role last year, especially with Will Howard's development as the season went on and in the college football playoff. So definitely a possibility and an easy candidate because you already know what he's all about.
Do you think that they want to stay with this trend of getting these NFL guys as coordinators? I've heard Brian Dable thrown out there as a possible coordinator. Do you think that's something that Ryan wants to do?
Well, I mean, I think it makes sense at a place like Ohio State, especially on the defensive side when you're running, when you have an NFL coordinator with college kids, it's obviously worked out. And I think the one of the selling points of Ohio State as a program is the number of guys that you see on Sunday. And getting those guys developed with Sunday with guys that have coached in the NFL can only help your program. They obviously do a good job of putting those guys in the right position. Yeah, there are differences in the college game, obviously. And, Brian Hartline did a nice job too. And I think he's going to crush it down at South Florida between the recruiting that he's able to do and his passing mindset and the offense that they'll have there. He'll do well.
I wonder how much of the culture that he learned from Ryan Day will rub off on his program down there in South Florida. Like as far as will he be able to, is he going to, I mean, I know Coach will put their own stamp on things, but I wonder how much he will try to incorporate some of the things that he learned under Ryan Day into this job to where it's almost like not completely mimicking what Ryan Day's done, but maybe some of the elements of that to make it successful down there.
Yeah. And, when Brian Hartline was being mentioned for the Penn State job, for example, you always wonder, okay, that's a big leap from coordinator to head coach at a university like Penn State. And it worked out for Ryan, obviously, at Ohio State when he took over for Urban, but it doesn't always work out. So I think the good thing for Brian Hartline is we get to see him at a job like that, and that if he were to do well, and let's say in 5 to 7 years, if Ryan Day were to move on for whatever reason, Brian Hartline would probably be a logical candidate to come back at that point.
I would think so, yeah. Appreciate the time, Bill. We will talk again soon. Thanks so much, buddy.
Hey, I'll talk to you guys next week. Thanks so much.
There goes Bill Bennett, Sporting News, joining us right there. Coming up next, we'll do Quick Hitters. Morning Juice.
This holiday season, Germain Toyota of Columbus is unwrapping incredible savings on the toughest trucks around. Right now, drive home a 2025 or 2026 Toyota Tundra with an unbeatable 0% financing for up to 72 months. That's right, power, performance, and 0%. And there's more holiday cheer. Every Tundra is sold at MSRP with 20% due at signing. No gimmicks, no surprises, just real value on one of America's favorite full-size trucks. So upgrade to a brand new Toyota Tundra. Holiday savings at Germain Toyota of Columbus on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Once there was a man who couldn't stand.
A mom who couldn't wait.
A scientific community that said it couldn't be done.
And then you.
And then I.
And then we.
brought neuromuscular disease into screaming color with the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
For 75 years, our voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
We've willed the impossible into existence.
We've pushed the science,
raised the funds,
shifted the narrative,
and transformed the reality of life with neuromuscular diseases.
For 75 years, we've built communities together,
established the field of neuromuscular medicine,
and made it thrive.
Call that a legacy.
Call it impact.
Call it momentum.
Just call it ours.
Because it's the generations of community heroes that give MDA the strength we have today.
And until neuromuscular disease is a thing of the past, you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
My name is DeMar Hamlin. I play for the Buffalo Bills, and I play safety. CPR saved my life. I've teamed up with the American Heart Association as a national ambassador to help create a nation of lifesavers, turning bystanders into lifesavers through CPR education and access to AEDs. Nearly 3 out of 4 cardiac arrests that don't happen in hospitals happen in homes. Join me to ensure everyone has the chance to live longer, healthier lives. Visit heart.org/nation.
We built a brand new studio just for Bobby, and Tito has already ruined it just by being here.
I'm pregnant.
This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice. Thank you, Bill Benner, for joining us back in that last segment. Always love talking to him. Now let's do some quick hitters. If I can find the right button. There we go.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, Big Mo, do your thing.
All right. Fernando Mendoza wins historic Heisman, and it's historic pretty much because Indiana has never had a Heisman winner.
Mm-hmm.
But he also dominated the voting. No doubt about it. I believe, trying to find the exact number, he had 2,362 votes. Diego Pavia in second had 1,435. So, Tito, my question would be, is this more of a indictment on Pavia or just the greatness that has been Mendoza this season?
I think, look, and Mendoza's had obviously an incredible season, but I think the story's been more impressive than the stats. And because you look at stats alone, there's no way Mendoza should have that much that big of a gap, in that. It's a better story because it's Indiana, because they're undefeated, because they never had a Heisman winner. They won the Big Ten. They beat Ohio State for the first time in a long time. I think that's more of the story. I was happy to see, 3 Buckeyes were in the top 10. Caleb Downs ended up finishing 9th in the voting. He actually got a couple of first-place votes, which I'm glad to see that. But, Jeremiah Smith was 6th, and obviously Sane at 4. But what I question now, though, is there was all this talk going in, Jay-Z, about, like, whoever wins that Ohio State Indiana game, that quarterback's going to win it. Looking at the voting the way it played out, though, do you think that Sane would have been a lock for it?
I was surprised when I saw the numbers, I guess, because I thought Julian would be maybe not that much closer. I thought it would be a little bit, I thought he'd have more votes than what he had. Now, I guess you get, into that area in the Northeast where it's Ohio State, Indiana, whoever wins that game, everybody kind of goes that way. But when you think about the seasons that both those quarterbacks had, I agree 1,000% with you. It's mostly because of the Indiana, the story, the kid. He's been around for a while. He's an awesome kid, seemingly.
Yeah.
Everybody just kind of fell in love with him when you see him doing an interview or, this. And then just the success that Indiana has had when they never have really had that. I think that played into it so much more because if we're going off numbers, I think Pavia probably has the better argument because I threw for more yards than I ran for 800 and some yards. Like total offense, I created more for my team, and we're also a team that doesn't technically win a whole lot and have that history as a program. So I mean, if anything, maybe he would have more of a more of an argument. But I was surprised that Julian was so far down because I'm just like, you set the completion percentage for college football,
right?
You have about the same numbers as the actual Heisman winner, and it looks like you were just a charity case on that panel almost.
And then if you have voters that decided their Heisman winner based on that game, Ohio State, Indiana, that's a one-game thing to try to break the ties and things like that. I guess is the way to look at it. Could you also see, though, some voters penalizing Jeremiah Love for what Notre Dame did? Like holding it against Jeremiah Love a little bit. Not that it's his fault at all, but the fact that Notre Dame robbed college football of what could have been a pretty good bowl game. Notre Dame BYU is what they were looking at doing. Would be the one. I wonder if any voters just.
I think it probably affected some, but I've been thinking about it quite a bit because it just has not made much sense to me why Notre Dame did this. And my initial reactions were what everybody did. Oh, that's just Bush League, blah, blah, blah. How many of these kids actually said, look, I'm not going to play. If we're not in the playoff, I'm not playing. And the coaching staff, the administrators, they're not going to come out and say, well, we're not playing because all these guys said they weren't playing. They're not going to throw the players under the bus. So they're taking the heat. But I imagine that the narrative is affecting a lot of people with the program right now. I was shocked that I wasn't shocked, but it almost, I thought, is this going to come up in the interviews during the Heisman and all of that? But it probably hurt Jeremiah Love a little bit. I think you look at how these candidates stacked up and just look at like the pre-show press conferences and everybody talking about that. And Julian saying had one reporter at his table. Everybody else had all these reporters. You figure Mendoza has a lot just because he is this guy that everybody just likes. He's so pure. Pavia, the exact opposite. He's a guy that's going to bring up a lot of controversy and whatnot. And Love, I imagine, was just a lot of questions about what his thoughts are with everything that Notre Dame decided. It's almost like we have the most vanilla guy who just goes out there and does his job.
Right.
Doesn't cause headlines. And also that whole thing probably motivates him. The way that whole weekend probably went.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if. Okay, let's go down that rabbit hole that maybe a lot of players weren't going to play. We're going to opt out of the bowl game. Jeremiah Love would have opted out, we know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't have that many guys opt out.
Right. Yeah, I would think so.
Okay,
you're gonna miss 4 or 5 maybe.
Okay, but let's say though that they then go play in the bowl game and get boat raced by BYU. Is that worse than this?
Boy, that is
no,
because
if you have guys sitting out, you're like, hey, we're using this as a get better month. We got some guys sitting out, we got some young guys coming in, we're getting a game experience, all that. So you go out into a bowl game, you get those young guys experience, and maybe you do lose, but you still had that month of practice leading up to, and you still got these guys those reps that they hadn't had all year long. So I don't think I think it's a worse look now, and I think the way they came out and was just like, they need to be not talking bad about us, and then I think all these other schools are now like, what do we care about you guys?
Yeah.
We're in you guys aren't in our conference. Like, and Jeremiah Love was like, everybody's afraid to play us now. It's like, well, maybe they just think you guys are, up on your high horse and they want to bring you back down a little bit.
Well, that goes right into the next quick hitter. Jeremiah Love talks about how teams are scared to play Notre Dame. He was quoted as saying they're scared to play us. They don't want to play Notre Dame because we're Notre Dame. You're leaving us out of your schedule. It's not a good look. Why not play us? That's how I think about it. Jay-Z, how can he honestly be able to say that with a straight face?
I don't know.
And really, what does this thought process with Notre Dame, is it become an epidemic now for these Notre Dame fans and administrators and players?
Well, they're just like any crazy fan base. They think they're in the right, and they're supporting everything that the school does because that's what fans do. But I think it's just been a bad look. I think not going to play a football game when it's kind of just a celebration of your year. And yes, we did. We're going to go for a week somewhere and get some cool stuff and play in another game against a team that we usually don't play against. I think there's a lot too good in that, I guess. And so for them to just come and go the way they went, it just is a bad look. And then you get this. It's like, no, you guys played nobody And maybe that's why he was where he was in the Heisman rankings, because Heisman voters said, well, the two good teams they played, they lost to. And then they just whopped everybody else because they weren't very good. With the exception of USC, I think.
Yeah, USC was probably the only one on there. Yeah, I wish that, because look, Notre Dame's not going to join a conference. That's not going to happen. But I wish they would the Big Ten would do what the ACC did with Notre Dame and say, look, play in all of our sports except football and play 5 Big Ten teams a year. Because I used to love those Big Ten Notre Dame matchups. It was Michigan State. Yeah, it'd be great. Perfect. And even if you're not competing for the title, then. But if we get to see more of Ohio State, Notre Dame, more of Oregon, Notre Dame, and things like that, and you already get USC built into their schedule, said you only have to have four of their games there, and then it'd be fun to have Notre Dame, I think, in all the other sports in the Big Ten. I think that'd be also be entertaining.
Do you think that maybe Love saying this and whatever else any of them are saying, they're just trying to find reasons to be able to say, they're just trying to keep themselves relevant more than anything and keep them out there in the conversation of college football? Because they shouldn't be right now. They're out. They're not playing.
Yeah.
So do you think that's just them trying to stay relevant?
That could be. I think that's a possibility also.
No press is bad press type of thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I wonder about that. That's a good point. Yeah, and I saw some of the chat talk about seniors for Notre Dame didn't get to play in the bowl game this experience now. Now that's also screwing them. And it did lose. What Patrick said, the money that Notre Dame cost ESPN because of all the the bowl game stuff and because of all the ads and things you could sell through that. But yeah, it's a big loss for them. Yep.
Packers' Micah Parsons leaves the game versus the Broncos with a non-contact knee injury. If you saw it, I believe it was in the third quarter. He was running after the play, trying to chase down Bo Nix, and he went down on the ground. He was attended to by athletic trainers, and it was, again, a non-contact injury. Lots of injuries yesterday, Tito, lots of knee injuries, but these non-contact injuries, what could possibly be the reason we're seeing it happen more and more? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't know if it's because the guys are bigger now, putting more pressure, but you also think that it would build up some of the muscles around, things like that.
Yeah.
And so it's guys are bigger, faster, stronger, and they're hitting each other harder, and they're playing a longer season, which also could have something to do with it. But I mean, I know that it's not an apples to apples thing, but for a long time, like in the 70s, they would play 6 preseason games and then have their 14-game season and then playoffs. And now they're playing 3 preseason games, 17-game schedule in playoffs. So it's not like it's that much of a difference. Preseason games, guys don't always play. But if I remember Walter Payton rushed for 100 yards in a preseason game, he played long enough to do that kind of stuff. So I can't figure out why. I don't know if it's something with.
I don't know if it's the year-round training that these guys go through nowadays.
The specialization.
The specialization of just doing one sport or training one thing for so long. But it does just seem, maybe it's the fields. There's a lot of talk on the fake turf and what that might cause. Now
in Denver,
it happens all over the place.
They have natural grass.
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, so they're playing there. So
because I thought the same thing.
One. Yeah, but it's just it does seem like we're just seeing more and more like the Achilles injury. I mean, that just all of a sudden came out of nowhere. Like,
yeah, that was never happening hardly at all.
I mean, not as much as it is today, anyways. I mean, I'm not really sure what that is. Maybe just overuse of these tendons.
Well, and the belief that you have to train, like you said, Tito, all year round and train as hard as possible are we getting to the point now where that is becoming a negative for these players?
Very well. I mean, back in the day, you go play football and then you'd have a job in the off season, right? You probably weren't working out and really staying on top of things. You were trying to survive,
right?
And then you go back in and report to camp and get in shape.
I wonder if it has anything to do with and again, this is all science. It's way over my head, but with the way people, the way they grow up with the food they eat now, and a lot more processed things sometimes, and there's things that have been changed in the way food's made, and I wonder if part of that is there as well. I wonder if when I was growing up, it was kids drank a ton of milk. built up calcium, all that stuff. It's good for the bones. And I don't see kids drinking milk as much nowadays.
They're all lactose intolerant now.
Right, yeah. So it's like things like that play into, I wonder as well. You can tie it into baseball with the pitchers.
Yeah.
Pitchers used to be able to go out and throw 200 pitches in a game and then come back and pitch 3 days later. And now it's when you get to 5 innings or something
you're
like that.
out no matter what.
You're coming out, and we're going to do a 6-man rotation. And, and there's going to be rest days, bullpen days, and all this kind of stuff.
So what you're saying is we're too soft on, these guys become soft.
I think with baseball pitching, I don't know if soft's the wrong word to use.
I know.
Because I've got a 6'5", there's a 6'5" friend of mine who's pitching in the White Sox organization who's in town right now, so I don't want to call him soft because he knows where I live. So anyway, but I wonder if it's anything to do with diet and the way they're raised and the whole thing. Like, think of all the things that have changed with, kids don't play outside as much as they used to. I don't remember. A lot of kids don't go out and play tackle football, no pads out in the yards like they used to.
Do that all the time.
Yeah, things like that. I don't see that very often anymore. And I don't know if all that ties into it or not, but
I can tell you, as someone who has experienced a non-contact ACL tear in football practice, it's still to this day. I'm just thinking, what happened? You can't figure out what happened. Mm-hmm. And it's such a freak thing, but for it to happen so often now, and just it seems like it's always something. I imagine in the off season, there's going to be studies. There's going to be, and it's going to be the owners saying, well, we've got to figure this out because we're losing money.
Yeah, they're seeing a lot of money on the sidelines every week.
And you know what Jerry Jones is going to say? See, that's why I traded him. Injury prone. I knew it would happen. That's why we did. I got
smart.
2 first-round picks.
I've been doing this forever. I know what I'm doing.
Jerry Jones has that kind of power. That's it for our quick hitters. Well done on that one, Mo. Coming up next, the Chiefs are out of the playoffs. Mahomes is just out. We'll talk about that next. Morning Juice.
Pain has a way of stealing the moments that matter most, especially during the holidays. It's not just your knees, back, your shoulder. It's the time with the family and friends. But in 2026, that could all change when your body remembers how to heal itself. It just needs a little help finding its way back. That's where QC Kinetics comes in. They're your partner here in Columbus that will help you heal that pain without surgery or without pills. It's your body's own natural biologics to heal itself. It's the best comeback story that you're going to find, powered by your own cells that built you in the first place. No surgery, no pills, no long recovery, just your body remembering how to feel alive again. It's time to take that first step. Literally, walk, hike, dance, enjoy the holidays. Schedule your free consultation today in Dublin or Gahanna. Now is the great time to use your HSA or FSA for treatment. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544 and get feeling better in 2026 today.
Hey guys, 13-year NFL veteran and Super Bowl champion Jason McCourty here, and I'm an innovation ambassador at FAIR, Food Allergy and Research Education. I would say the most challenging thing as a parent of a kid who has a food allergy is probably the ignorance that I myself had in the beginning. So I didn't know what anaphylactic shock was. I didn't know the dangers, let alone the things that she needed to be able to have a normal life. When you go to drop your kid off, on every single time in the beginning, we'd have to go through everything she was allergic to. Preparation is everything. And me, for playing football for 13 years, it was all throughout the course of the week. It's getting ready for game day. When you're on the field, you're playing for your fans. At home, you're playing for your family. My playbook, read labels, keep it allergy friendly, and have an epinephrine nasal spray as a backup plan. Because when my family's safe from food allergens, that's the real victory. Visit foodallergy.org to learn more.
People don't realize that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of blindness.
Because there are often no early symptoms, nearly half of those with glaucoma may not even know they have it until vision loss has occurred.
I was diagnosed with normal tension glaucoma in July of 2020. And what we found out at that point was I had already lost 40% of my sight. And you think it only affects people that are, 75 or older, retired, grandparents, and that's not the reality of it.
I didn't think at all glaucoma was going to affect me because I didn't know of anyone that had glaucoma, no one in my family. When you have glaucoma, you can't get back that sight that you lost. And so early detection and treatment is vitally, vitally important.
Don't miss life's most beautiful moments. Schedule an eye exam today.
National Glaucoma Research, a bright, focused foundation program, offers free resources and tips for healthy vision.
Learn how to protect your sight at stopglaucoma.org.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
All right, Morning Juice. Second hour of the program, by the way. Morning Juice, sponsored by Riverside Bank in Dublin. Catch on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, the Fan app, and HD3. Download the show anytime and catch us from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. And you can, if you look at us watching the show on one of those things, you can do a deep dive into the way that Justin Zwick's looks have changed over the years. See the evolution of Jay-Z.
From Backstreet Boys to the town, I guess.
Yes, and then to Joe Burrow.
And then to Joe Burrow.
Yes. So, anyway. So, yesterday, the Chiefs got officially knocked out of the playoffs. And
all NFL fans rejoiced.
See, okay, I'm glad you said that. Do you think NFL fans, most of them are happy the Chiefs are out? Do you think that they are done, they're oversaturated with the Chiefs?
I think so, yes.
I do.
I mean,
really
with the last few years, with the whole Taylor thing and just...
Well, and every referee,
the calls that they seemingly get, and it's just just keeping them alive. And so I think yes, the NFL fans are like, all right, good. We don't have to deal with these guys again.
First time since 2014, I believe.
Yes,
they're not in the
it's
playoffs.
been a long time.
So have the Chiefs? They've reached that status of the Yankees and Dodgers with you.
Yes,
where you're tired of seeing them. Do you have the same feeling about Golden State, or did you?
Well, as a Cavs fan, I was really tired of Golden State. Right. And the same thing when the Patriots were winning so many. It was awesome, the first one, because I thought, man, this is a team that's never won a Super Bowl. The Rams were a juggernaut. I didn't think that there was any way the Rams would lose that game. And when they won, or when the Patriots won, I thought, oh, this is awesome. And then they won, 3 out.
And they kept winning.
Those first 3, and I'm like, okay, this is all right. And then it just it just got old. Now I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. I appreciate what has gone on in Kansas City, especially when all those years that they came so close and they had good teams. I think of the Marty Schottenheimer years; those were some really good teams. And when they won it the first time, I was okay with that.
Yeah.
Second time, okay. But then just always being there. And it did feel like it was just oversaturation. And I guess that's going to happen with that hot team.
When you have that many stars, I mean, you got a quarterback, you got a tight end. I mean, you have, Andy Reid, a Hall of Fame coach. I mean, it's easy to get wrapped into that. And it is, to your point, it's impressive when they can go, when programs can go on a run like that. Mm-hmm. So you got to respect that. Like the whole Belichick thing back in the day, like I used to think he was awesome.
Yeah.
Because he just didn't care. He was all about winning, and that's just what they did, and everybody hated him for it. So, for the Chiefs, personally, it's like, all right, I like watching good quarterback play. I like watching good football. But, I can sense that just from friends I know who are big NFL fans, and just you read everything online. It's like every year, it's like, again, the Chiefs are back. Everybody's just tired of them. But it's impressive what they're able to do in that league with that much talent everywhere for them to be, 10 years in a row winning that division or being at the top of the division. I mean, that's just really impressive.
That team hasn't been the same since Eric Bieniemy left, who was not the offensive coordinator anymore, which surprised me a little bit because that offense is Andy Reid's offense.
Right.
And so you would figure that, kind of like with the Patriots, they had multiple coordinators come through. I mean, Josh McDaniel was there
left,
forever.
And Matt Nagy went to Chicago and came back.
But I just kind of figured, well, it's Andy Reid's offense, so it's going to do well. And they made it to the Super Bowl last year, but got exposed.
Right.
And now and it wasn't even easy for them to get to the Super Bowl last year. So are we seeing something here where now we're looking at Andy Reid as, okay, maybe the game has caught up to you?
Okay, that's possible. But, the Bieniemy thing, Bieniemy didn't do much anywhere else he went.
No, he hasn't.
You know what he is right now, don't you?
It's not coaching, is he?
He's the running backs coach for the Bears, I think.
Oh, that's right.
It was having a pretty good year. The Bears are.
Yeah.
But anyway, he didn't really. He applied for a lot of jobs, had all these interviews, and then no one got him, no one took him, and then But I wonder if it's more not the game passing Andy Reid by just the Chiefs getting older.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, you got 10. These guys are 10 years older than they were when they started this run. Father Time's going to catch up with these guys.
Yeah, I think Kelsey definitely, and he has no reason to really come back. He's got his Super Bowls. He's getting ready to get married.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame. He's got a successful podcast. His life after football is set up. There's really not much of a reason to stick around, I would think. Yeah. Now, it's easy for me to say.
Well, those competitors, you get that bad year.
Yeah.
After being so good, like that bugs those guys a little bit. I would imagine he didn't want to go out like that.
But Andy Reid has been around for a long time.
He has been.
I mean, a long time.
He's somebody who could actually he could pass Belichick to be all-time wins leader, right? I mean, he's on that kind of trend. By the way, I'm going to throw some teams at you. Jacksonville, Houston, Indianapolis, Miami, Carolina. All teams that are still in the playoff race, not named, and Kansas City's not. Kansas City eliminated before any of those. Now, the Miami, if they lose tonight, I think they're eliminated. It's going to be 6-8 like the Chiefs are. But nonetheless, though, all those teams, though, are still alive. In the Kansas City is not. Now, I like Kansas City in the playoffs just because I think it's because they're intriguing to watch for me. But you look at it now, I mean, Jacksonville's sitting there with 10 wins. Mm-hmm. Jacksonville's 10-4. That's unbelievable. Yeah. To think of how bad they looked early in the season, too. And there was talk about Lawrence being a bust and all this stuff. Now, he's not putting up otherworldly numbers, but still.
He's playing winning football, though.
10-4, you're 10-4. If the playoffs started today in the AFC, your first-round games would be Houston at New England. No one, I don't give you that. I don't bring a card. Buffalo at Jacksonville, and the Chargers at the Steelers. And over in the NFC, it would be Green Bay at Chicago. It would be the 49ers at the Eagles. It would be the Seahawks at the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are going to take that mantle of being the worst division champion. Oh, maybe the Steelers might take that, but because the Buccaneers are 7-7 right now, and the Steelers just 7-6 headed into this game. But in the Mahomes, also the ACL thing for Mahomes now. He's not young, as we mentioned, and I know ACL, where it used to be career-ending now, he'll be back next year, but will take a little time for him to get back into a groove. And what will they look like next year? Because the fact the Chargers are doing what they're doing, the Broncos with Bo Nix, it's a damn tough division now.
You have these teams with young quarterbacks now starting to come up, and Patrick's been in the league for what? 15 years?
No, not that long. I think it's 2013. 2012.
It was 2013 when he came in for the last game of the season.
I think so.
When Alex Smith.
12, 13 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a long time.
That's a long time. I mean, he's not a young guy anymore, and coming back off of now ACLs, all these surgeries. It seems like these guys come back even better. Than what they they've come so
it's
far.
It's like Tommy John surgery.
Exactly. Yeah, you're getting that done, and you're throwing it faster.
Yeah,
like you're almost doing it to get a little bit more on your fastball.
I might get my kid ACL surgery right now. He's 9, so let's get
let's just get this out of the way.
Let's get out of the way.
You're going to come back better.
So you look at the teams that are, among the top teams in the league this year, wins and losses wise. You got Denver there, who clinched a spot already at 12-2. You've got New England at 11-3. The Bears are second in the NFC at 10-4. All three of those teams have got second-year quarterbacks. You got Caleb Williams in Chicago, and obviously you got Bo Nix and Drake May in Denver and New England, respectively. Now, they also all have fairly new head coaches. So, do you think it's more about the coach or the quarterback in those situations? We've seen coaches with good quarterbacks not do worth a damn. We've seen great coaches, bad quarterbacks. Belichick not do anything worth a damn without him.
Well, I think you look at Bo Nix with his situation with Peyton. Peyton knew what he wanted. He knew because he had Russell Wilson and he knew he didn't want
Russell
him.
Wilson, boy.
So he got to draft him. So I think that was just a ready-made situation. He kind of knew the type of quarterback he wanted. And Nix he's a game manager. He's
an older guy. He was around college for a long time before going.
I think Drake May, in that situation, he needed the right coach, obviously, because he's got a new coach, and I think they got the perfect coach. So I think it's more situational, to answer your question. I think it's just about the right coach definitely makes a difference, but we've seen plenty of good quarterbacks. You talk about Williams in Chicago, probably the most talented player that we could have seen last season, but man, had the worst experience ever with a team that had a lot of talent. So in that situation right there, I think with New England, Chicago, definitely the coach makes a huge difference. I think in Denver, it was more the coach was pretty much there. It was about getting the right quarterback.
Well, that's the thing. These coaches will get somebody, and maybe it's not a perfect fit for their scheme. And, the general manager loved them or something, so they took him or they brought him in, and now I got to try and figure that out. Sean Payton said, I already know what I want. I'm going to go draft this kid. He's older, he's a little more mature than what most college quarterbacks are, so perfect fit there. But, for like Caleb Williams getting an offensive-minded coach coming in, I mean, it can definitely change your trajectory, just based off having this, the same ideas or understanding what the guy's trying to do, or just somebody who understands the quarterback position and really wants to put you in the best position for you to be successful. So the coaching can have a lot to do with that, no doubt about it, unless you're just one of those generational type players that no matter what, you're going to get the job done like a Tom Brady or somebody like that.
And what a class that 2024 class was. When you look at it now, when you got Williams, Daniels, Drake May, obviously Jaden Daniels had a fantastic season last year, battling injuries a lot of this year. And then Nix, Penix and McCarthy, probably the outliers. They haven't done too much so far. Spencer Rattler got picked much later on in the 5th round. I think there was no quarterbacks taken in between after the first round. Another quarterback didn't take it until the 5th round when Rattler went, and then Jordan Travis from Florida State went, followed by Joe Milton, among others. But it's shaping up to be one of the better quarterback classes in the NFL for a long time. A lot of people look at the 83 draft with what happened with granted, you had Elway, you had Marino, you had Jim Kelly, but then you also had Tony Eason, you had Todd Blackledge, and you had Ken O'Brien.
Ken O'Brien,
right?
Yep.
So 3 hits and 3 bad misses. And so far right now, you could say 4 of these are hits right now, right? I mean, obviously McCarthy and Penix are not yet. Jury's still out on both those guys. Well, McCarthy had a big game last night, but you got those quarterbacks, though, are all having fantastic second seasons. Daniels had the great first season, but it's interesting to me to see where it'll all play out when their careers are over, because we could end up very likely have a second-year quarterback in the Super Bowl this year. And this is the year, by the way, this is the year that's there for the taking for Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Because Kansas City's out. Baltimore could very easily be out. So you don't have to worry about Lamar Jackson. We know Cincinnati's out. You don't have to worry about Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, or Patrick Mahomes. And all of a sudden, though, like your toughest competition now, you got some second-year quarterbacks there that aren't playoff tested. You've got Jacksonville, which the big comeback was 2 years ago when they were down to the Chargers and then came back and won that one. The Steelers with Aaron Rodgers, who knows what Steelers defense is going to show up in those games. And then you've got the Chargers with Herbert and Harbaugh there, and then the Bills and the Texans. And I think the Bills are still like maybe the second or third favorite.
I was going to say they got to be.
They're up there high.
I think they're definitely a favorite in the AFC. I still look at the Rams as the team to beat. I mean, they're playing so well right now.
They're throwing the ball around. It's
and I know that
thing.
they just lost, who was it, to injury yesterday? Another knee injury or leg injury.
Oh, was it
Adams?
Oh, yeah. Hamstring. Yeah.
Hamstring.
Yep.
So hopefully he's back. But I think everything, if I look at each conference, I really think the NFC just has a heck of a chance to win the Super Bowl this year. Just the teams over there. I look at the quarterback play as at times otherworldly and more weapons, whereas with the AFC, I do think it's still more of a grind it out. Even it's a short passing game, they're going to grind it out a little bit more. Not to say that I don't think that the Bills could be that team that can win it all, but I think the Bills have to get through. They got to get past New England. They got to get past the Broncos. To me, those two teams are the ones that would be in their way.
Yeah, right now, like I said, they'd be at Jacksonville, open things up, which I would see them winning that game, I would think. But is there a Super Bowl matchup you want to see that's still in play? Does it matter to you? Do you ever think about, like,
Well, since the Browns are never in it, right, I can never really think about it. I think I would love to see the Bills make it.
Yeah.
And if they made it, I would like to see other teams that would probably be there. Honestly, I would love to see them play Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't think Chicago will make it.
Right.
But that would be a team that
That'd be a big game.
That'd be a big game.
There'd be a lot to that. Two cities.
Yeah. I think that would be
been
a
while.
fun matchup. But yeah, I think just about every team would be interesting. I don't want to see the Steelers make again. Sorry.
You know, it's like a Rodgers-Stafford matchup wouldn't
No.
be fun. A Rodgers against the Lions.
No. Are they bringing buses from the nursing home?
It's funny because right now the top 4 teams in the AFC that would host games right now are all outdoor facilities. When you've got, Broncos, Patriots could be great, bad weather games there. The Steelers also, Jacksonville just no, but I like seeing that as well. And we've got some, if you look at the games now, in the NFL's, I don't know if this is as much, but the flex thing helps out. I don't think these games would necessarily flex, though. But coming up this week, you've got the Rams at Seattle on Thursday night. That's a big game.
That's a huge game.
You've got Green Bay at Chicago on Saturday night. Another really big game. And then your Monday night game, Sunday and Monday night. Sunday night's going to be New England at Baltimore, which is Baltimore's backs against the wall on that one. And San Francisco's at Indy. The Phillip Rivers experiment goes on.
Games.
What do you guys think of Phillip Rivers?
Well, I was telling Jay-Z that it was interesting watching. I saw a little bit of it,
right.
And it was impressive. He was a game manager. That's what you wanted. But, man, the short passes looked really rough. He got him there, but I just don't – it just doesn't look like Phillip Rivers, which I didn't expect it would, but
Right.
I just wonder how long – it can really last.
I was wondering how sore he was going to be after his workout.
Every pass.
It's not even the
yeah.
game. I'm just saying, like, hey, you're coming in on a Tuesday or whatever day it was. You're going to just go through and work out for us. I bet the next day he's like, whew, haven't used those muscles in a while. Feeling that a little bit.
Every
so to put
pass
pads
looked rough.
on and go out and play on a Sunday, I mean, that's impressive. The fact that they were winning the game with 45 seconds to go.
Yep.
Even more impressive. I mean, at that point in time, everybody in the Indianapolis organization was like, worth it. It was worth it. We just stole a win because nobody thought they were going to be close in that game. And they almost came out with a win.
And I will say I wasn't sure if he was wearing rib pads or if that was just his gut.
It might be just his
he
gut.
looked awfully pudgy.
I think that when they asked him how much he weighed, he said, I don't know.
He goes, well, a little bit more than when I walked off the field 5 years ago. And then he's like, I'm not running away from anybody anyway, so what's it matter?
But then he did try to scramble once, and everybody was
I saw him
their
fall
breath.
down. He slipped and fell down in the pocket and got up, and it didn't look that athletic.
No.
I asked this question yesterday. Who are you more concerned with taking a big hit, Phillip Rivers or Tua?
Tua.
Like,
Phillip's still big. I mean,
he's big.
He might be overweight, but he's still a big dude. He's not going to take as big of a shot as
Tua
Tua
is
would.
one big hit away from being a new person, literally, because he'll forget everything.
Did you have that mentality?
Of what, just going and
I don't care how hurt I am. I don't care what the long term. I don't care I don't care what I'm going to look like in 10 years. Yeah. I'm gonna keep doing this.
And I think any football player, like when you see all the older guys coming back and like they can't shake your hand or they can't move their. And I'm just like, you look at them and you're just like, but you do it all over again, wouldn't you? And yep.
Okay, this is where I struggle. One of the many ways I struggle. One of the many areas I struggle. I forever have defended, I shouldn't say forever because I used to think you guys were also a bunch of dumb jocks, dumb football players, especially offensive linemen. And as I've gotten to talk to people, though, ones that were offensive linemen, defensive, as I've got to talk to them, I realize you guys are damn smart.
Very smart.
Okay, you are very, very smart. And I've for the last 20 years, I've been defending it, saying, look, you might think football players, they're not dumb jocks. These guys, the stuff they have to know from talking to former players, like the plays you have to memorize. And when you walk up the line, you've got like 2 seconds to decide if I'm going to audible out of this. When I talk to Tyvis, and Tyvis shows me that, like the first time I met Tyvis, he was showing me that if a receiver's foot is a certain way, he has to adjust before the snap. Like he has to look at the receiver's feet to decide, as opposed to just being see ball, hit ball, get ball, see ball, hit ball. No. Okay, so long way to say this. You are very smart. Do you think it's smart for someone like Tua to keep playing? Because you said you do the same thing. And you've seen players that have been on the wrong side of this whole thing.
Yeah.
And so, just from your competitive nature puts you into this, and that's what got you to where you're at anyway, because you compete. Mm-hmm. But is it smart? Is it intelligent?
I don't think if you were to tell somebody you're going to strap a helmet on and just some plastic pads and you know what, you're going to run into somebody as hard as you can.
Right.
I don't think anybody would be like, that's smart.
Right.
So, no, I mean, it's not smart. It's not a smart move, probably, but it's going to be a move he's going to play. Yeah. I mean, you just have this something in you that doesn't want to come off the field or wants to get back out there. Or that one was bad. I want to do better the next. I can't go with that. It's when you're practicing, you're like, got to make the last shot or you got to make the last throw.
Right.
Or you can't be done. Right. You got to go until you perfect or get that last one. So it's the same as far as playing. I mean, like, you don't want to have that bad taste in your mouth. That was my last game. We lost.
Right.
That stinks. I don't want to, all right, let's get back out there. Let's go. That's why I was talking about with Kelsey. He's old, could retire, but it's like he doesn't want his last season to be, the way it was, unless he just physically can't go out and do it anymore. But it's just something that we're wired differently, man. It's like we know that. I mean, anytime you step in between those lines, it could be, anything could happen.
Right.
And we all have seen. I've, unfortunately been in a few of those where it's like some hits went down, and you're watching your buddy, on a stretcher go to the ambulance. And that stuff hits you hard, but then it's like. The whistle goes, and all right, we're right back out there, and we go.
I'm trying to put that in terms that for Mo and I, like Mo, you love calling games, and you love radio. I love doing radio.
Yeah.
If I bumped into a bunch of former radio people that were,
couldn't talk anymore, just something,
or something about the way they did their job. Now, granted, most of us radio people, we get older, you'll see us, we put on weight and get diabetes, all kinds of stuff. I'm saying for the most,
but they keep the voice fresh.
But I'm saying if you all of a sudden, if we saw people in our profession from years ago, guys that we listened to and admired, and they were in their 50s, looked like they were in their 80s, would that give you pause on doing this at all?
No. It wouldn't.
I don't think it would for me either now. I'm thinking about it.
And I can relate.
But I'm not smart.
Even though I'm not, I'm not the level of athlete that like Jay-Z was or anybody else. When I couldn't play football anymore in high school, I mean, I was a starter or I was working hard. It killed me. And as soon as I graduated high school, I went right into playing rec softball.
Okay.
And now this is with a reconstructed knee.
Right.
And I'm getting nothing from it other than, the camaraderie and all that. I played for 20 years and tournaments and spending money to go to hotels on a weekend and not getting paid, going to work injured. There was nothing smart about that. I mean, if you're looking at the intelligence side of it, there was no intelligence there. But at least I was smart enough to realize I was so out of shape and so overweight when I quit.
Yeah.
It was like, this is a good time for me to quit. But it took that long for me because I was just such a competitor and I had to be competing in something.
Yeah.
Even if I wasn't the best athlete all the time or the most, the guy that everybody wanted on their team, I was good enough. I was good.
Right.
I still wanted to be out there and I don't regret it.
See, the key is when you're doing rec league stuff like that, start the team on your own, and that way you're always going to be on the team. And you just go recruit people or be a team captain to start.
Yeah,
to
but then
pick
you got the headache of recruiting people and trying to get everybody on the same page.
Trust me, it's not fun to try to put
everything.
And you're like today's cat herders day.
Yeah,
it's like herding cats sometimes.
I remember when we first did rec league softball. I put the team together, and I'm like, I'm an athlete. I'm going to play shortstop. And I'm going to bat third. Put myself right in there, like unbiased. And after the third inning, I was like, you know what? I shouldn't be playing shortstop. I should. It's not like I thought it was going to be for me.
Put you in right field.
Softball is an oxymoron.
Yes,
it is not soft. And at third base, you're getting him pretty hot.
I benched myself in that one. Coming back, we'll talk more about the NFL and also try to figure out what the hell's going to happen next week. Michigan. No, was that you?
That was me. I was trying to get ready to go. Sorry.
That's all right. Morning juice.
My mom is a veteran, and she was injured in the line of duty.
I hurt my leg in a training accident when she was only 2 years old.
She had 7 different surgeries over the span of 9 years, and there were tons of complications.
I couldn't be the mom my kids needed me to be.
She missed so much.
After my last surgery, I got an infection so bad I thought it was going to kill me.
I told her she couldn't leave me yet. There was still so much she had to see. I hadn't even graduated.
I'm doing much better now. I may have lost my leg, but I've gained so much. I'm an active part of my kids' lives.
She can kick a mean soccer ball.
DAV's been there for me and my family. Through thick and thin, they've had our back.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Sandy get the health and disability benefits they've earned so they can achieve victories great and small.
My victory is getting my life back. I got my joy back.
We got our mom back, thanks to DAV.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
I always tell people I was the luckiest guy in the world. I wanted to be an Army man or a fireman, and I got to do both. As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine.
After spending his career answering the call to save others, Ken was diagnosed with ALS. Now he's facing his biggest battle, for more time. For 70 years, Muscular Dystrophy Association has been answering the call to help people live longer and more independent lives.
MDA means to me hope.
MDA is leading the way for people living with ALS, muscular dystrophy, and other neuromuscular diseases by accelerating research, advancing care, and advocating to empower families like Ken's.
I wouldn't be living as good of a life with ALS if it wasn't for MDA. MDA is helping people live stronger and love longer. Learn more at MDA.org today.
What does it mean to give 100%? It means giving everything you've got, every single day. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. So no matter what you give, we give 100% for life-saving research victories, 100% to making new discoveries that lead to innovative treatments, 100% to groundbreaking cancer research that could one day save someone you love. We know cancer research is working. Over the last 30 years, an estimated 4.5 million lives have been saved thanks to game-changing research breakthroughs. But there is more work to do. That's why the V Foundation gives 100% of every dollar donated directly to cancer research. We will always give 100% to accelerate victory over cancer.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Donate today at v.org.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
It's Tito. It's Justin Zwick. It's Big Mo. Thanks for tuning in today, folks. Appreciate that. Everyone in the chat, thank you for participating in that as well. It's been on fire today. I saw this article in Athletic about what has gone on at Michigan in like the last 5 years. You know, the Juwan Howard stuff.
It's not good.
Juwan Howard smacking the coach in the top of the head, Bard, Wisconsin, and then getting a physical altercation with longtime Buckeye, or former Buckeye, longtime strength and conditioning coach up there, John Sanderson. Howard goes 8-24. He's out of a job. The Harbaugh stuff. And there's like different layers of it. There's the things like where, you know,
the recruiting stuff,
you know, giving a kid a cheeseburger he wasn't supposed to, which is a stupid thing. I get it. But also, having visits when he's not supposed to. You had the thing with the OSU's Michigan's hockey coach got into trouble too, right? The men's hockey coach, I believe it was, did something, and then you had the OC or the offensive coach for Michigan accessing private information.
Oh yeah, he like serious trouble.
That's a federal,
like FBI, was in on that.
So you got that, and then all the cheating scandal and the covering up of all of that. More being suspended.
5 or 6 coaches, I think. Or maybe not arrested, but maybe a couple of DUIs and a couple of this and that.
Right, yeah. There was the old quarterback. Who was the old quarterback?
Denard Robinson.
Yeah.
But there was like 2 or 3. I saw a list of things. It was like, man, a couple. Yeah.
So that's just in the last like 5 years all this has gone on. And I kept thinking, and I'm not wishing this on Michigan. Michigan fans, I'm not wishing this on Michigan fans. I can wish it on Michigan, not Michigan fans. Anyway, that the bottom's got to fall out somewhere. Like, there needs to, because they almost have to burn it down and rebuild it. They can't have, no matter what they do going forward, anybody associated with Harbaugh cannot be a part of the program. And that includes the AD.
The AD, Ward Manuel.
Ward Manuel includes him. And I want to see what they do, because it should take a long time to recover from something like this. It should. Now, I don't know if they'll surprise me or not, but it just seems like, though, with all this stuff that's going on, they need to completely clean house. Anybody associated with Harbaugh, or even Ward now at this point, Manuel, they need to make changes.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to kind of wash this all away, is just to get rid of everybody that had any kind of fingerprints on anything. It's been a wild, COVID messed a lot of things up.
It did,
but it really messed up Michigan's program, because that's when it just started going downhill. I thought they should have been wiped out on the whole cheating scandal.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed. Not as an Ohio State fan, just as a college football fan, of like, that's a pretty big deal to me.
Yeah.
That is something that we should not see in college football, and nothing happened to them. So it's like, this is almost, in a way, karma coming back and just being like, we need to cleanse this program a little bit, and it needs to happen. And this is now, luckily, maybe it's going to happen.
It's, I'm surprised it didn't get hit harder when it happened, because that affected legacies. That affected coaches' livelihoods, because not only Day, think all the crap Day caught when he was going against a team that knew what play he was going to run, but like other teams, though, if they had a chance to get a big win against a Michigan team, and I didn't look at their schedule the last couple years, but you look at a team like a Wisconsin, if they got screwed because Michigan cheated, and you look at the heat that goes on someone like Fickle, things like that, like programs that I can't remember all the coaches who were in place at the time, though, but you have that affected so many things and so many people's lives, people's draft stocks. It affected that as well. Because a guy could have had a really good game at Michigan against Michigan, that could be a little bit different than come combine time and come draft time where he ends up going. I know that they can't do this, but Michigan has brought such a bad look to the Big Ten. I wish there was a way they could kick them out of the damn conference. I know they can't. They won't. I know the money's too much. But it's just like, I wish there was a punishment the Big Ten could put on them.
Don't you wish that they had the relegation levels that English soccer had, where you have to be in the top? You have a 16-team conference. You got to be in the top 8 to be considered for anything, and you're going to play this schedule next year, and then the bottom 8, you're going to play this schedule. But I agree with you. I think what we're seeing now is just a program that has been left to their own devices for so long. And if the NCAA would have done what was right, if they had done what was right in the administration there, it could have been headed off a long time ago. But I think this is where you're seeing that the name, the mystique has caused this to go on for too long. And this should be a warning to all programs at that level that, look, even though we're Michigan or we're Ohio State or we're Alabama, we got to make sure we're taking care of things in-house, or this is what's going to happen to us.
I'm not naive enough to think that there's, ever since the beginning of major college sports and the popularity, I believe that any school that's worth a damn in basketball or football has done something against the rules. I think Woody did stuff against the rules. I think Woody would give players money sometimes if they needed it. And I'm not saying he didn't pay for recruits, but he broke rules that at the time would be considered would be a big deal. I think John Wooden, I think it's been documented on that he also did some things to get players to UCLA while they were there to play basketball there. I think every school that's worth a damn and has any kind of run like Ohio State football did, or UCLA basketball did, or Penn State had for all those years, they did things that were against the rules. But this is so much next level stuff that it on and off the field both, and I just don't know. What I think would be hysterical, though, it would be such a boss move by Michigan. I brought this up yesterday. Call the Ravens. Request permission to interview John Harbaugh. Just do that. Get the Harbaugh
Just
back.
to get the-
Bring back the glory days. Have a Harbaugh running that program again. Get it back to where they were at.
Yeah, that would be wild.
Where does Michigan rank as far as coaching jobs in the Big Ten?
Well, are you talking currently? Like
right now? Right now, if you could, because it's going to be tough for whoever comes in next. It'll be tough because
but they don't really have. I mean, as far as NCAA, like they didn't lose scholarships or they have nothing like, so they can still have a full roster of guys.
Do scholarships matter in the
I guess
NIL
not really
world?
anymore, right?
I mean, honestly.
Yeah, not much, I wouldn't think, because you can still just get paid to go there. And
you can say, we're not giving you a scholarship, but we're going to give you this much money to cover everything.
I think that it's not a top 5 job to me.
In the Big Ten.
In the Big Ten, I think you would look at Ohio State is obviously number 1. Oregon.
Okay.
I think USC is one of those jobs.
Okay.
I do think that it's not a good program yet, but UCLA is one of those jobs.
Okay.
I think Iowa, when it comes open, is going to be one of those jobs. I think
Indiana?
Nebraska is one of those jobs. Indiana. I think Wisconsin is one of those jobs because there's stuff there in place that you can really build from. The only thing that I see with Michigan that makes them maybe really appealing, facing what they're facing right now, is just the fact that there is a big money base there. But it seems to me there's so many cooks in the pot. They're trying to have a hand in everything, and
you mean cooks in the kitchen, right?
Well, whatever.
I'm
from Marion.
I'm thinking cooks in a pot. I was thinking of actual people in a pot. That's where it got me.
It's a big pot.
It's and I'm not talking about smoking pot. So there we go.
Clarify it all, don't we?
But I think there's so many people with their hands in that program that it doesn't seem very appealing. I think that's why the same thing at Penn State, but I think it was more so at Penn State with the AD that made that be a program that, at least in football, you don't want to really have to deal with. So I think that made that less desirable too. But I look at where some of those teams that I named are at, and they're set up to possibly be able to compete and have the money base and have enough there to do something.
Yes, I still think it's probably a top 3 job in the Big Ten, just because of what Mo's talking about is the money behind him. I mean, that Larry Ellison just got involved, right? Last year with Bryce Underwood. I mean, that guy's got more money than he knows what to do with. So, and I think in this new age is if you have the money, you can rebound pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get players to come there if the money's right, if they're in the portal. So if you hit on some good guys out of there, I mean, I think you can turn it around. So I think the money they have is going to be the option or the reason why people are going to look at it and be like, yes, that's still a big-time job because they're going to put the resources behind it. They have it. I just got to go in there and, get my guys in place.
But do you feel like they're still trying to get some traction after Bo? You had Gary Moeller. He did okay. Lloyd Carr did well.
He did.
And he had a good run there. He did have a national title that he shared. But then after that, it just kind of fell off.
I think when they went to Rich Rod, it was just like,
and Rich Rod was
really
just
fell off.
But I feel like everything there, more so than at Ohio State with Woody, is in the shadow of Bo.
Yeah, because they haven't. I mean, Carr won the share of a national title, right? In
97, I think.
And Bo never won a national title.
Right, Bo never won a national title. But so yes, and Ohio State's had. Obviously, Bruce ended unceremoniously, but then Cooper. We know the Cooper era, but then what Ohio State's had lately though, when you go Tressel, Urban, and then now with Day, it's Ohio State's. They're not as much in the shadow with Woody as the coaches would be at Michigan, I would think. It's interesting though when you break that. I think it's probably close to a top 3 job, like you said, Jay-Z. But the reason it could be very difficult is because you have to go in there and build a new culture. But the reason it could be easy, is because like the transport,
you're burning it down.
Yes, and all those things are gone. The expectations might not be through the roof at first. It won't be what the expectations they had for Ryan Day at Ohio State, or for what they had when they brought Urban in. It won't be those kind of expectations unless you bring in someone like Ryan Day or Urban, which I don't think they're going to be able to do.
No.
I wonder, how many people are going to lose through the portal? How many people are going to jet out of there? And I know, look, we don't know for sure exactly when Michigan found out about the stuff going on with Moore. I've heard people in the industry, reporters say that people that have covered the team say, we knew what was going on. Like they were aware of this for a while. It's been going on for a while.
It's not very hidden.
Right. Okay. So if that's the case, then it really pisses me off when they announced it, when it happened, because, and I know that this could be different situations, but what I respected about what happened with Ohio State and Heartline was they announced it before signing day.
Yeah.
To make sure everyone knew, hey, Heartline's not going to be here.
Yeah, this happened last night. We're letting everybody know first thing in the morning.
You're going to know. You're going to know. They didn't try to.
This may hurt us, but we're going to let you know.
They did that above board.
Yep.
If Michigan's known about this for a while, they had plenty of time before signing day. And if they were waiting to see if Michigan beat Ohio State or not before making a decision, they were going to try to sweep under the rug if Michigan wins that game or whatever, then shame on them. But they still had time to announce it, though, before National Signing Day, before doing something. I know evidence got presented to them, but I got to believe they knew something was already going on.
And I wonder if that can be looked at as an NCAA infraction. And I don't know. I don't know the rules enough, but if it could be, this is a team that's already been put on sanctions, put on probation.
Yeah.
And if that is an NCAA infraction, because there are rules against it's not sportsmanship, gamesmanship that are out there. This is the thing. They keep trying to cover up everything, and it just doesn't seem to work. And they've just gotten lucky to not get that big hit yet. But they keep pushing that envelope.
But this is where I want the Big Ten to do something.
Yeah, they should.
Teeth. I wish the Big Ten, the other schools, the other school presidents say, you know what? This is enough. We can't have this anymore. Here's how we're going to punish you.
But it can't be Ohio State that takes that first step.
No.
Because it'll just be seen as
Michigan State.
But they all have to talk.
They should have done something through the cheating scandal, in my opinion.
Look at how it affected all of them.
Yes. You would think they'd be more mad about that.
Yes.
Because this program is actively cheating to try and get a leg up, and that's a big deal. And you think they would have done something then about that. But
yeah, it's like I don't know why they aren't more pissed off about it. Why am I more
fine
pissed
or
off than they are?
Exactly.
Yeah, a huge fine. You can't compete in the Big Ten tournament in basketball. You can't compete in the Big Ten championship game. Whatever those things are, you take it away from them. Though you know what? You're not going to make You're not going to make as much money at the gate in these games
because
just something.
It's the mystique of Michigan. That's the problem, and the Big Ten has bought into it. It to me, it would be the same thing as if it was Ohio State. Those blue bloods that are so original to the Big Ten, not even original though. If it was Oregon, if these teams that are bringing in all this money, I just feel like that mystique. They don't want to hurt that so much. I can't remember because it was so long ago. Did they do anything when the Penn State scandal happened? Or did they just let the NCAA handle that?
I don't know if the Big Ten did. They made Paterno vacate wins, I know, or something like that.
But that was the NCAA.
NCAA, right. Yeah, I don't know if the Big Ten did.
That scandal was about as nasty as you can get. So I just feel like the Big Ten, unless they are pressured, because they were never going to do anything at first until they were pressured. And I don't think it's the teams or the schools necessarily. It's the ones running the Big Ten.
The Big Ten didn't do anything like when Trust went through Tattoo Gate or anything. That was all NCAA stuff,
In fact, I imagine
right?
the Big Ten was laughing, like, you guys are really going to sanction them for this?
For me, I think the Big Ten has more power than the NCAA anymore. The Big Ten does.
Oh, absolutely.
And they need. I want them to step up and do. I want the schools to do, because if they could do that, it could set a precedent going forward for schools. And schools might leave conferences because of it. But I'm just saying, like, you could do that, though, if the Big Ten could do something. Come out with a statement about this. First, come out with a statement, say how bad this is for Michigan, how bad it is for the Big Ten, how much it affects the other schools in the Big Ten, and the conference's integrity, and the way it's hurting them the same way the Penn State stuff did. it's hurting the conference the same way. And so if they can't collectively do that, what the hell do we have conferences for?
It's like the AD from Penn State was like, Michigan happened. That happened.
Right.
And nobody in the Big Ten has come out and said that. And you just have Michigan saying, "Oh, it was no big deal," and then like you need to come out and condemn them. Like this did happen.
Right?
They cheated.
Yeah.
NCAA did this.
Right.
We're doing this because it is a program in our conference that we do not want to see this happen again.
And I want ADs and head coaches to say, "I'm pissed off about this."
Yes.
I think it needs to happen. I agree, but it's just the same thing as the NFL. If it looks bad, they don't necessarily want to deal with it until the pressure is on. And the owners individually are not going to deal with it generally. I look at the Big Ten ADs as the owners. They are working in conjunction with the commissioner and trying to keep things as copacetic as it can be because it's a mutually beneficial construct.
I mean, they probably say it looks bad on all of the Big Ten if we do so. If we come out and do something, it looks bad on all of us because.
Yep. And what's it going to take? That's the thing. What is going to be that horrible thing that happens that they have to do something now?
I will say this, if you're keeping score at home, I did use the phrase pissed off 7 times in this segment. And so what that means, I'll either call my dad on the way home by cleaning up my language, or Fish will call me into the office after we get done here. We'll figure out which one that is. I'll make sure to tell you about it. We'll tell you guys Juice next. Morning Juice.
Bobby Carpenter here with the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. When the game's on the line, you press hard, you hustle, you stay focused, and give it everything you've got. Pressure brings out the best in people. That's how business works too. Have you ever met what seemed like an impossible deadline? Saved a deal from going off a cliff at the last minute? Here's Chuck Moore, CEO, and Travis Sanders, president of Riverside Bank of Dublin, on their local partnership and dedication to doing whatever it takes.
Thanks, Bobby. At Riverside Bank of Dublin, we're proud to be on your team, helping local businesses manage cash, fund growth, and invest in what's next. From startups to seasoned pros, we bring the full court press every day for our clients.
That's right, Travis. Our team at Riverside Bank is just as hungry as you are to grow and prosper. That mentality shows up in everything we do. Your business deserves a banking partner that's invested in your success. Look for a new branch location at Bridge Park in 2026.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or online at riverside.bank.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
If you're looking for the inside scoop on the Buckeyes, you've come to the right place. This is Morning Juice.
You hearing that too there?
Yeah.
All static? Okay. Maybe go to a PSA and we'll see. right, now we're back.
Hey.
Yeah, we're good now. Whatever you did, Big Mo, you fixed it.
Hey, all right, Mo.
Okay.
Nice
well,
job by you.
Yeah, we'll just pretend like that happened.
We were talking about we ran late, so we wouldn't have a very long What's Got You Juice, and then you decided to further do it by doing that, whatever it was. That was weird.
Hey,
let me know in the chat if you guys heard that. I assume you did. But let's find out what's got everyone else juiced here.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, Jay-Z, you're first. What's up?
Well, with it being a Monday, I'm juiced that Mo got that figured out because that static in my ear was pretty bad.
I was sure it was just my headset. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, no, that was interesting. A Monday juiced, I found out last night that the wife works late tonight. So I go to Roosters, I do my show.
Right.
And I usually bring food home for Tuesday nights because she also works late then. I get to bring double the Roosters home because I get to eat Roosters tonight and tomorrow night. So I'm juiced about that. So I'm going multiple things off the menu today. I'm going to have Roosters tonight and tomorrow night. So I'm kind of juiced about that because I get something else.
Fish said that he did not hear the static. He said it was in my head.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just in our heads.
In our headsets, yeah.
So we were sharing that moment all together.
Yeah.
Yes, we were. Yes, we were.
Yeah.
What's got your legs juiced?
I tell you what, I've been lifting big, so then my body wants to eat big. When that occurs, weight goes on. But I'll also say this, thick necks are in. Make sure you train your neck. Nobody likes a skinny neck. Big backs, thick necks. Ask all the ladies out there. It's real. It's real talk.
Big backs, thick necks. I love it.
Sounds like what I'd go for. What's got me juiced? I was just telling you guys off the air, I'm not a big Monday person. So, we talked about it. And what has me juiced is that tomorrow is Tuesday. Also, I'm looking forward to, got a couple basketball games this week. It's been about a week since I've called a basketball game. So I'm looking forward. I have one tomorrow night, one on Friday night. So getting back into that, just being able to do some play-by-play is always fun. And to see people, it's always what I enjoy about it more than anything is interacting with some of the people that are there before the game.
Right.
I don't know if you run into this, Tito, but it's funny when people see that you're in the media, they do seem to think that you actually know something.
Yeah.
And it's fun to get people to talk about their opinions on things because they'll ask mine. And I'll say, well, what do you think?
Right.
And so I like being able to hear what people think about different things. But it's just fun to do. I like getting out there with the public. I'm not the biggest people person per se, like crowds or anything. But in the high school atmosphere, going to a game, that's a whole different element, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I enjoy doing it. You're right. People do. They assume. Well, first of all, it's
a huge assumption.
Right.
First, so what's going on with so-and-so?
Right. Yeah. I can't tell you times I got asked questions about Carnell Tate when that was going on.
Yep,
Like,
sure.
I did too.
Oh, yeah. Hey, is it really what I heard it might be and all stuff? Like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure.
I get all the time like, Justin, what are you hearing on this? I'm like, nothing.
Yeah. I'm hearing he might play. That's all I'm hearing. Same thing you're hearing. Whatever Bobby tells me, that's what I'm hearing. It's usually the case of that. Or I was Biddle or I was Austin Ward, something like that. Like, that's how I get my information from other people who are in the know, not from me. That is, you're right. I get that. I love it. I love meeting people that listen to the show.
Yep.
And just and getting their opinions and talking to them. I got to meet a couple people out at the that one fan trivia event we did, and that was fun when you get a chance to meet with some of the people who are in the chat every day and talking to us and all of that. What else has me juiced? Let's see. I realized how bad of a father coach I am. My son's basketball game on yesterday, and he played a fantastic game. He third grade basketball, and he got fouled. He took 8 foul shots, which is unheard of in a third grade basketball game. One kid taking 8 foul shots. So he got banged up a lot. I bet he hit the floor 13 to 15 times.
Oh, jeez.
Hard hit the floor. And he said to my wife last night, he said, when other kids fall down and get hurt, or when other kids go down, Dad always says, hey, are you okay? You all right? He said, when I go down, Dad says, come on, get up. Let's go. And I realized, he's like, doesn't he care about me like he cares about that? Oh, God, that breaks my heart to hear that. But he's right. I started thinking about it. Every time my kid goes down, I'm like, hey, get up. Come on, let's go. Game's on. Need you. It's like
You're
that.
okay.
Right. And I'm just trying. I realized that about myself. My wife made me realize about myself, I should say. My son made my wife make me realize it about myself. There we go. But yeah, it's something that's it's just instinctual in me. And like when other kids go down, I'm like, oh, I hope that kid's okay. When my kid goes down, I'm like, come on, let's hit the soccer. Let's not milk this. Come on, let's go. Get up. You know what I mean?
My daughters run right to mom because I'm always like, you're okay. Get up.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, I want to cry about this. I want to.
And he was so tough yesterday. That got me just watching the fact that he came out of the game once for a couple minutes because he got hurt on the shoulder. He said he thinks the kid bit him or scratched him. I didn't see either of those, but
wow,
that's what he said. I didn't see a mark either, but it's a soccer player, right? No, so anyway, he did come out. He played. We were short on players. We only had 7, so he played a lot of minutes. And they won the game, and he played really well. And like I say, the toughness thing. He was very tired last night, obviously, and. I just got to text my wife. We can't believe Upper Arlington's got schools. I don't think Columbus City schools do, but I think Upper Arlington's got schools. And she's letting him sleep in a little bit because he's really tired from yesterday and all that.
That's great.
So anyway, that's what got me juiced. Basketball's fun. Kids, like I say, kids play well. I like coaching. I always make sure I'm the assistant coach. I'm never the head coach.
Not too much pressure.
Nope, not too much. The pressure comes because he's a very successful traveling businessman. And so he misses practices sometimes.
Oh.
And on those practices, I made the comment, I think, with Bobby in here, and I don't know if you were here, if it was Austin who it was, but like when I ran that first practice by myself, I went in thinking I'm going to have the same kind of impact that Norman Dale did in Hoosiers. The reality is I had the impact. The way I coached was like the guy he kicked out of practice when he first took the job.
Shooter. Well, you're probably more like Shooter coming drunk.
That's fair. But the guy, though, when Norman Dale shows up and he says, the guy, oh, you're 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, we'll let him shoot. They'll all shoot around and goofing off. That's what the practice looked like when I was coaching. And the coach says, hey, what'd you guys work on?
Yeah.
Free throws and dribbling. Yes, you know? There's sometimes I don't have all the plays memorized.
We worked on team bonding.
Yes, I have to ask my son sometimes in practice, hey, Artie, what happens on this play again? Because he knows them and I don't. And so I usually have to go to him, which I got to believe that probably damages my integrity.
You're just checking to make sure he knows what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't know, I'm screwed. That's what I look at. So. Thank you, Jay-Z. Big Mo, great job today. Good job on this date in history and everything. And the staticky thing, which wasn't your fault. The listeners never heard that, so that was good.
Yeah.
And thank you to Bill Bender. Make sure tomorrow, 7 o'clock, it's a Schlegs Day. I would tell you what's going to go on, but even I don't know what's going to go on with Schlegs. We'll figure it out tomorrow.